In this video, I'm going to give you some tips for solving the ALEKS problem called classifying substances from a sketch. This problem is going to start out by showing you something from what it's calling the normal view, just a regular perspective. From this particular screen, you're going to classify this substance as either a solid, a liquid, or a gas just based on common sense. And looking at this, that is clearly a liquid. The next thing that we're going to do is take a quick peek at the 1000 time view. I'm going to show you that. So we're just going to click on that button and it's going to show us a slightly zoomed in view of this substance. For this particular substance, it kind of looks like there's nothing there. We're not going to do anything with this information yet. We are just going to remember what this looks like. We're going to come back to this after we've done the next view. So we're going to click on this 10 million times view and see what this looks like. When we're in the 10 million times view, so remember we've already classified this as a liquid. In the 10 million times view, we're going to be classifying this as either an element, a compound, or a mixture, one of these three things. So what we're looking at here is a mixture. And a mixture is something that contains a variety of different types of atoms in different orientations. So this is a variety. I'm looking at a variety of atoms. They are connected in different ways. Connected in different ways. And what I mean by that is that I've got some green spheres in here. I've also got some yellow spheres in here. I've got some red and white things in here. I've got a variety of atoms. There's a lot of different things going on. That is a mixture. If you have an element contains only one type of atom, which means that all of your atoms are just going to be red spheres, or they're all going to be green spheres. You're just going to have one particular type of colored sphere showing up in there. If you have a compound, you're going to have two or more types, but all of those atoms are going to be connected in the same way. So not the same as what we see. I realized I spelled variety wrong. So they're connected in different ways, not like what we see here. Two or more types of atoms. And we're going to be able to definitely see a pattern of their connectivity. So for example, if I didn't have these yellow spheres and green spheres present, like if they just weren't even there at all, and all I had were these red and white spheres and they're all connected in a really good pattern with one red and two white, I would classify that as a compound. That would be two or more types of atoms and they have some sort of pattern to them. If all I had were these green spheres, nothing else, I would classify that as an element. And I have a mixture. If you have an element, or if you have a compound, that substance is also going to be classified as a pure substance. It's a pure substance because there isn't anything else in there. It's just the one thing. You either have just one type of atom, or you have a few atoms, but they're connected in a pattern, connected with some sort of pattern. Okay, so if you have an element, you're definitely going to check pure substance. If you have a compound, you're definitely going to check pure substance. If you have a mixture, you are going to check possibly solution, and then you are also going to check either homogeneous or heterogeneous, one or the other. Okay, so the way that we're going to classify homogeneous versus heterogeneous is by going back to this 1000 times zoom. At the 1000 times zoom, which for us just looked like this, a homogeneous mixture is a mixture. If we're looking at it from the 1000 time perspective, everything just looks the same. When we look at it, we just see one thing, or in this case, we kind of see nothing. It just sort of all looks the same. And that is a homogeneous mixture. A heterogeneous mixture in the 1000 time perspective is going to look different. And I'll show you a picture of that because I've got that screenshot for you. So a heterogeneous mixture is going to look different. Okay, and then there's one more thing here. If you have a homogeneous mixture, and it's a liquid or a gas, it is also going to be a solution. Like that's the definition of solution. A solution and a homogeneous mixture are the same thing. And so if you're checking homogeneous mixture, you're also checking solution. Let's take a look at another problem just so you can we can go through the process again. The second one that I have is also a liquid. So remember on the first screen, all you're doing is classifying it as solid, liquid, or gas. Then we're going to speed on over to the 10 million time zoom. We've already classified this as a liquid. In this part of the problem, we're classifying element versus compound versus mixture. Okay, so in this problem, we have what looks kind of, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on here in terms of, like, is that white spheres with red spheres around them? I'm not sure what's going on here. But what I do know is that this is not an element, because an element contains only one type of sphere, only one color. It's not that. And I know that it's also not a compound because I have more than one pattern of connectivity or arranging of these atoms. So this also is going to be a mixture, because I've got, this sort of pattern with these atoms connected, and then I've got this thing, which is something completely different. If I've checked a mixture, then I need to go back to my 1000 times zoom and see what's going on with that. In my mixture, in my 1000 times zoom, take a look at this. This is a heterogeneous mixture. A heterogeneous mixture is one, when we look at it, everything doesn't look the same. So remember in that first problem where we looked at the mixture at the 1000 times zoom, everything just looked the same. It just kind of looked like nothing. But in a heterogeneous mixture, we can see components that look different from each other. So here we've got what looks like bubbles inside something else. That is a heterogeneous mixture. This is not a pure substance because we classified it as a mixture. It's also not a solution because solutions and homogeneous mixtures are the same thing. So I am classifying this as a liquid, I'm classifying it as a mixture, and I'm classifying it as heterogeneous.